Good morning on this Wednesday in Easter week. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed, alleluia. And it's that framework of that primary affirmation of our faith that we're called to journey more deeply into as we inhabit these unusual times, as our schedules remain disrupted, but also importantly as we imagine what the new normal will be when eventually we move through this time of crisis. What will be the same? What will be so disrupted that it looks barely like what things might have been in our expectation only a month or 2 months ago? I think these are important questions just to how we practice our ministry as Christians and also how we serve our community as part of God's loving and compassionate presence in the world. So I'd encourage you, if you have any opportunity, to explore and read some of those things that might challenge your thinking. I'm happy to say that if you go on our diocesan website today, you will see sometime during the day the new posting of the format for the COVID-19 page. That's where we hope to assemble the various pieces of advice that have been given, the kind of resources that you're generously sharing with us of your responses in your local context. We'll hope to have those together as both a record and an encouragement to others. And while you're on the website, just go and have a look on the opening page, because there is a church finder map. See if you can find your church and just ensure that those details are up to date. If they're not, please tell us. I had the unusual experience, in sort of a way it was mildly paradoxical experience in January, just in country Victoria, seeking to find a Sunday church service to attend. And I found the church. I looked at all the signs that were physically prominent around the building. It said a certain time. I looked on the website, it confirmed that time, but then I later found out that the accurate information was on the Facebook page of that parish. And my family, along with some others who'd come on the other public information, were disappointed that we'd entirely had the wrong idea. The service was at a different time. So it's easy for us to have something which might be correct one week but wrong the next time. And I think in some parishes there's often a transition of volunteer staff who might be maintaining websites. So just go and check those things, because I think that as we have people become more familiar with working in this kind of digital space of accessing church information, we need to be very conscious whether ours is accurate. And if it's not accurate, it's good to probably even take our website down if it's got wrong information or information that's only a couple of years old and not really conveying contemporary information. We're continuing to work on the applications for the measures that the federal government has made available to help the continuity of institutions and work during this time of the COVID-19 crisis. As you could imagine, the details of this, as they're being worked through by the Australian Tax Office, which is administering most of these schemes, are becoming quite detailed. We've been in contact with our consultant, CY Consulting, who are the tax experts, and I was on a webinar last week, and it truly is an amazing piece of complication that we've got to navigate, because we know that if any of the applications are made falsely, they'll need to be recovered from the tax office at some time in the future. So we're working on that, and we're hoping to have something concrete to be able to discuss about that soon. But we think that the JobKeeper scheme is one that we'll probably be able to access. Less certain about the boosting cash flow for employers, and still working on that, but that's looking a little bit less certain, which is unfortunate, because we'd understood initially that was a measure that we'd be able to use. So a few things that keep rolling on. I've been on some meetings almost every day on Zoom and with various contacts and connections with agencies, with some of the leaders of our our different entities, just understanding their context and situation, what are the developing trends, and hope to be able to speak some more about that as things unfold. So I hope in this Easter week, again, a time like no other, that you're feeling energized by this great reality of our faith, that we serve a risen Lord, and our risen Lord is present with us in good times and in bad times, in times of apparent abundance, but also in times of absence. So bless you as you continue your Easter journey. Christ is risen. He is risen indeed. Alleluia.